Welcome to the Redvee TV show, supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2025 season, episode 2 of the year of the weekly shows anyway. And there's news, Kevin, so we'll get straight into it.
It certainly is. And it's big news as well.
It's
Great
big
news.
news, and the big news is, Kev,
Yes.
that we have daily episodes until the start of the 2025 season. From now,
Yes.
you've got your weekly show today, and then from tomorrow, 9 a.m. every morning, you can wake up with me and Kev as we count down to the Super League season.
I
You're not
thought you
going to get a
wanted
better
people
offer.
I thought you wanted people to listen, or watch,
They can
let alone
listen,
put them off.
they can listen and watch us, Kev.
Fair enough. Right. Well,
Slightly bigger news. George Delaney has signed a 4-year extension at Saints that will keep him at the club until the end of the 2028 season. Good news for the Widnes Mafia.
great news. Great news for George. Well deserved. He was off contract at the end of 2026. So he isn't one of the big glutter players who are off contract at the end of this season, this coming season. But it just makes sense to keep someone who, as we were saying, like at the end of last season, someone who was available, someone who put a good shift in, someone who still has potential to get better. Keeping them under contract for the Saints is such a good move. And listen, we don't know what the future may bring. It may bring Aussies knocking on the door. It may bring transfer fees having to be paid if he wants to go before the end of that contract. But for now, he's under lock and key and he's ours.
Yeah, obviously you've got Alex Walmsley um, coming towards the back end of his career. Iggy Parsi off contract at the end of 2025. Are we potentially, have we looked at what Wigan have been doing over the last couple of years in terms of realising that there isn't this big glut of talent available on the market, and when you've got a star, you tie them down as long as you possibly can.
Yeah, you've got to keep hold of him. That's it. We're in that kind of weird position that so many are off contracts at the end of 2025. So yeah, you're right in looking at our nearest and dearest and thinking what they've done is they've locked so many players in, so then they can keep rotating the squad, and it's something that obviously we didn't do when we were winning, and we've spoken about that time and time again, the reasons behind that. But you still need that core of players who are worthy of a starting 17 jersey. Um, George Delaney is one of them players. He's someone who I think still needs the odd couple of weeks off just to make sure we're not absolutely battering him into the floor. But he's in and around the team most weeks, isn't he? He needs to be because he needs to develop. But as I say, we need to make sure we're still looking after the guy.
Yeah, off contract at the end of 2025. Joe Batchelor, James Bell, John Bennison, Jake Burns, Leon Cowan, Ben Davis, Morgan Knowles, Moses and Iggy Parsi, Will Roberts, Dejan Sambu, Curtis Sirenen, Johnny Vaughan, Matt Whitley, uh, and potentially you've got Matty Lees, Noah Stevens, and Jake Wingfield as well, but they've all got 1 year options, which obviously you could opt to take and keep them till the end of 2026. The big one there is probably Morgan Knowles.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think Morgan Knowles is someone who can provide us grunt up front. Yeah, he's probably not the like a Paul Sculthorpe style 13. I say probably he's not a Paul Sculthorpe style 13, but he doesn't half solidify us. And you'd say that building a team around the likes of Morgan Knowles and Matt Whitley's Matt Whitley, Matt, Matty Lees, building a team around them two and having them as two of your enforcers in the pack is vital. adding George Delaney to that for the next 4 years, I mean, it's an absolutely fantastic bit of business by the club.
Yeah, in terms of the props over the next few years, for me, you've got Noah Stevens, who's going to be your grunt, and you've got George Delaney and Matty Lees, who are probably going to be slightly more mobile. For me, if we're going to go into the market for props, it needs to be big units.
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. Like I know I've said this a couple of times, but when we had different a difference in props, so you had Matty Lees, you had Alex Walmsley, you had Louis, and you had Iggy, and they all gave you something slightly different. That's when you're at your best, when you've got something different. And as you say, with unfortunately Alex coming towards the end of his career, you've got to look at someone who gives you that size, gives you that mobility of breaking through the line and looking for an offload. And it is something that we need to identify. I know Noah can do that, whether we'll see that kind of come over the next couple of years. Hopefully we do. But yeah, you just need to have a bit of difference. You can't just have four mobile props, for example, four lighter weights. And listen, I wouldn't like them running at me, but four lighter weight mobile props running at you. There's some packs that will absolutely just wear that down. You need that point of difference from a couple of your forwards.
Yes. George signing his contract there in one of this season's training tops, which grows on you, Kev.
Is that how you get one? Do you not just go down the club shop and buy one?
It grows on you. No, you get one when they sell them at a reasonable price and they come down in a sale. That's when you get one. But do you know what? It's a nice top.
Yeah, yeah, I like that one actually. Yeah.
Gotta have a moan somewhere. Dual Reg partners announced for 2025. Saints have announced a partnership with Halifax Panthers in the Championship and Swinton Lions in League One. Swinton Lions have got more stars above them than anyone else. Anyway, first of all, Halifax Panthers, Kev, coached by former Saint.
Yeah, coached by Kyle Eastman. Um, you know what? You need to have a good dual reg partner. I think Halifax sounds like a good one to me. I don't think they've got the world's biggest squad, so it will allow your younger lads and maybe people who are coming back from injury as well, who you can afford to just give another week running out to, a chance to go and play at a good level. I'm happy with it. I mean, I know there's talk just going on a bit of a tangent about Halifax of Huddersfield Giants wanting to better the pitch over there to potentially move there for 2026 while they build their own stadium. If they do that, that'll be even better for our players as well, won't it?
Can I just call it now? If Huddersfield move to Halifax to play there, they'll never move back out.
Do you not think so?
No.
There's an interview with Ken Davey that's gone out from Matt Shaw today. So he's adamant that they will go back, but obviously remains to be seen, doesn't it?
I think Huddersfield will move there. They'll change the colours to blue and white. They'll wear blue socks, and they'll merge with a team called the Panthers.
Okay.
Do you know what?
I'm not
Why
sure
not?
it'll go
Anyway,
that. I'm not sure it'll go that far, but okay.
the Huddersfield blue socks.
They might be the
Anyway,
giant socks.
um, obviously we're going to talk about it in the coming weeks. In terms of dual reg partners, but I like the fact that we've got one in the Championship and one in League One. So the League One for me would be where you're sending your youngest lads who've got no first team or adult professional experience at senior level. Whereas your Halifax, for me, that's our fringe players who are just missing out on the 21 each week, as long as we've got a fully fit
Yeah,
squad. So like your T Ritsons,
yeah,
um, to allow them to go and play at a decent level.
yeah. I think you're right. We did similar last year with North Wales, didn't we? Where I think Ben Lane turned out quite a few times for North Wales. I don't know if Jake Burns did actually as well. But the, I think it's wise having the teams in both divisions, and being able to send lads who are at different points in the career out to these clubs and a get them a load of experience, b get them playing against, as you say, open age rugby that they might not be used to, and I feel like it benefits everybody that clubs aren't carrying clubs who can't carry a big squad can call on Saints players and get a list and go, right, okay, well, we need a hooker and we need a seven this week, so that's who we're going to take. And having Swinton, who've only just been relegated as well from the championship, having them still on board. I know that I've seen a bit of murmurs because I think the last coach left under a bit of a cloud, but they've got Paul Wood in charge now, so you've got to think that a clean slate there, and hopefully it'll be good for our players, the players that we're going to talk about, especially in the coming days.
Yeah, you can have up to five players on dual reg in a squad in any given week. So potentially you could send 10 out. So when there's no reserve game as well. And you could also argue, is playing for Halifax in the Championship a better standard than the reserves? It is. So imagine if Halifax could call upon T. Ritson to play on the wing, Jake Burns playing at nine, a George Whitby or a Harry Robertson playing in the halves or at fullback. All of a sudden, it should be a really good deal for Halifax and good for their development from a Saints perspective as well. And obviously, Saints have said it'll work the other way as well. So potentially, some Halifax players can come and train with Saints and play for our reserves occasionally as well.
Yeah, I think it's, as you say, it's great. The likes of Will Roberts, Leon Cowan getting good game time at a good level as well. Yeah, hopefully it'll be great for the club.
Short and sweet, Kevin.
Yes,
But the
and at
news is
least
trickling in, isn't it? It almost feels like
yeah,
there's a season just around the corner. Just to finish off this episode, we did mention it at the start of the week on the first episode of the year. Morgan Knowles testimonial event on Tuesday evening at Saints. There are a very, very limited amount of tickets left. If you want one for that, which is Meet the New Boys, Lewis Murphy, Kyle Felt, with Morgan Knowles, Tristan Saylor. You need to get in touch with Dave Howarth, 07908 646 569. But by the time you're watching this, I can't guarantee there's going to be any left. But it's worth a try.
yes, of course.
Right. Episode every day now, Kev. We are busy, busy. And we just need to mention as well, we've already started pre-planning some of these episodes, film some of the young stars who are going to come up over the next week. So if we don't mention our dual reg partner, it's because Saints left it late.
Yeah, organised.
We are organised, too organised for our own good. But yeah, episode every day. We'll have the weekly show with the roundup of the news and opinion, and hopefully one or two specials to be thrown in as well. Right, Kev, go and get a good night's sleep. We start bright and early, 9 o'clock. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Catch you soon.